But when all the Chinese people started studying and Jew, and because everyone is learning the very same thing, so it almost become a joke, you know? Like whenever we joke about someone who learning to speak English at the very first time, we just say like, "How are you? Fine, thank you." And you, you know, using the very Chinese accent because that's something like all the Chinese learn. Somehow it's in our textbook. The very first thing we learn is like, "How are you? I'm fine, thank you." And you, greetings from New York. How's New York? I miss New York. I haven't been back to New York for so long time. Yeah. To be honest, like I really like New York because like New York is so vibrant and it's so diversified. Because like personally, I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of all the art. And I definitely say like New York is very rich of art, right? You guys have like the Metropolitan Museum, and that's not the only thing, right? You guys also have like all the great concerts, musicals, like so good. Yeah. Um, let me see what the other did you enjoy good food in your holiday? Well, to be honest, like for my holiday, I actually didn't eat. Well, I ate a lot, definitely gained a lot of weight. However, it's not like good food. It's usually just like going out and just see what are the food around and just eat it. Like I haven't really tried anything that is amazing um during the holiday. And just so you guys know, like nowadays these 2 days are the Chinese public holidays, which is the May Labor's Day. So like the entire nation, the entire country has altogether, oh, I hate this hair. Yeah, so it has altogether like 5 days off, and today is the last day. Unfortunately, it's the last day. Whenever you have like holidays, like time just pass so quickly, and just oh, by a flash. Like the 5 days is gone. Yeah. I understand the same to me here because we speak French. Where are you from, my friend? You guys speak French. Wait, so like the very first thing you guys learned is also how are you? I'm fine, thank you, and you. And also, like somehow the British way of greeting people for the very first time is how do you do, right? How do you do? And but I never use how do you do. You know, I've always used hey, how are you? Something like that, right? So back then, I was always very confused between like what's the difference between how do you do and how are you, right? But they just basically mean the very same thing. You teach Chinese? No, I don't, my friend. I'm not a teacher. Yeah, but like many people say, I do have the kind of feeling that I'm a teacher. Like I do look like a teacher somehow. Yeah, 口红没拿过来，完了，算了，不涂了。Okay, let's see. I'm from England. Hi, Kyle. Patton, 23. Did you register your account in 23? That's why you have 23. Yeah. And England, I also miss England because I said that I did my master degree in UK, so like definitely miss there as well. Yeah, I be making my own book in my free time. Ooh, what book are you writing? Morning, Nytrix. It's me from Canada. Hi, Wesley. Good to see you again. What part of China are you from, James? Take a guess. Take a guess, my friend, James. Maybe take a guess. Like where am I from? You just look like Zhang Ziyi from Crouching Tiger and Hidden Dragon. To be honest, I don't think I look like her. There's so many like good actresses here and from China. And well, I do consider myself having a celebrity face because from time to time people just come in and say that I do like this celebrity, I look like that celebrity. But somehow I don't think I look like Zhang Ziyi. I do look like some other celebrities in here. Yeah, but like, is Zhang Ziyi very famous? Is very famous in your country? Mm-hmm. Most likely southern. Uh-huh. Why? Tell me why. Like, why do you think I live in southern area of China? Very curious to know about that. Like, do I look like do I have a southern face? Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, thank you. 好了，涂个口红，谢谢。哎呀，涂上口红气色好多了。The best art district in Chelsea and Soho, all the galleries. Yeah, I know. I've been there, Brian. I've been there, Chelsea and Soho. And also, I remember back then when I was there in New York, there was also like a very big sports center, something like that, where you can drink beer and also play all sorts of sports in Chelsea. Yeah, and there are like so many galleries. And so interesting. The other day, my colleagues was also like just walking randomly in Chelsea and Soho area, and they just randomly walk into a gallery and saw a beautiful painting. And they took a photo of that, and they say like, you know what? I found a painting of a woman that looks really like you, and they just took a photo of that painting in Soho, and then like sent a photo to me, and I myself also think that painting really looked like me. Yeah, but somehow I was not able to keep it. But I still remember it was like something like painting a woman just sitting there like with her back, and the background was like all green, something like that. Yeah. But to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of all the paintings. Like when it comes to art, like my personal passion more comes from the music side. So for example, when I was in New York, so I was in New York for training. It was like 1 month and a half kind of a training session in New York, right? Because when I started my career, I actually worked in one of the biggest investment bank on Wall Street in Hong Kong. So like they sent all the people to New York for like training, like a 1.5 month of training. So that's when I was able to get to New York and spent like 1 month and a half there. So every weekend, also during the week, I would go to all sorts of concerts, right? So classical music concerts, there are multiple like concert halls in New York that is like fantastic. And also, I have to say, like for the world known kind of band, they just would go to New York for performance, right? Nobody would not go to New York for performance. So, like when I was in New York, I got to enjoy, great performance in Carnegie Hall, and where else? Like Carnegie Hall. What are the other halls? Like there are so many great halls, right? I was able to just go there and just enjoy like all the concerts, and also like so many fantastic musicals, right? Yeah, so uh, that's definitely good. Yeah. The Chelsea Piers. Yeah, exactly, Brian. The Chelsea Piers. I remember. Yeah. Yes. I remember the piers. Yeah, by that, I just only remember all the kind of interior like sports center inside Chelsea, but I don't remember the memories just come back. It's like definitely Chelsea Piers. Yeah. And also I remember they also had the like a rock climbing class back then, and all the colleagues were gathered together. It's like more like a team bonding back then. So we learned like rock climbing, and it's so interesting. Like when you have to do rock climbing, you have to wear this like a safety kind of thing, right? Yeah. Not Barclays, the bigger one, a bigger one, a bigger one. Yeah. Radio City. Yeah. Okay. Our beautiful Nytrix is from Shanghai. Yeah. Yeah, my friend. RL, be nice, okay? Nobody knows where the pandemic comes from. So don't accuse China. Don't accuse China, okay? Yeah. I know where you're self-conscious about. What are you talking about? Good morning. How you doing, love, so early? What time is it at your place, my friend? What time is it at your place? Hey guys, let's do a round of what time is it at your place? Yeah, yeah. What time is at your place, my friend? And guys, follow me, please. Yeah. 听不懂，听着听着就听懂了，宝宝们，给我干哪儿了？Oh yeah, Lincoln Center. Yes, yes, Lincoln Center, Carnegie Hall. Yeah. Oh, these are amazing, amazing concert halls. Like I love it. I love it. Yeah. 给我干哪儿了？啥叫给我干哪儿？给我干国际服了？你怎么那么搞笑？ Okay, it's 6:48 p.m. I guess p.m. Right, Javier? 7:48 p.m. What time is it at your place? Tell me in the comments. What time is it at your place? Is it very early or very late? Yeah. So like usually in a live stream, we just have people from everywhere, literally everywhere around the world. So it's very interesting to see like what's the time people are in right now, and what are the time zone like we have in this live stream. So like, oh, okay, we even have like 6:50 a.m. So Charlie Wen, where are you? That's like 6:50 a.m. So like we have a lot of like people that is in the afternoon time, in the evening time. For example, people from America, right? No matter North America or South America, like these are the time zones where people are in the afternoon or in the evening, right? So oh, okay, Jakarta, Indonesia. Okay, so we also have like 2:49 a.m. Christina, I guess you are in Europe, right? But how come you're still awake, my friend Christina? Are you just trying to stay awake to watch my live? That is amazing. Thank you. Ukraine, yeah. So my guess is like you're in Europe, right? I guess you're in Europe, so that's why like you're in the middle of the night. But thank you so much for staying up so late to watch my live. Yeah, Copenhagen. Okay. Okay, 1:50 a.m. Wow, you guys stay up really late. Yeah, I love your earrings. Thank you. So, Sauber, you can actually just if you really like this earring, you can actually shop it as well. Wait, wait, wait. Well, it's not currently available in the US yet, but very soon. So on the bio page, you'll be able to see like I actually put on a link. So that is the kind of link you could just go and shop for all the accessories that I wear in my live stream, like many beautiful accessories. Canada, 7:49 p.m. Yeah, mostly like in America, like lots of people from America, and you guys are in the evening time. Someone is saying that I'm sitting on my Toto toilet. Like you don't need to tell me well, you're actually sitting on the toilet, and you don't need to tell me what exactly is the brand of the toilet you're sitting on, my friend. That is so funny. 身体健康的时候，声音听起来也很动人。谢谢你，Little Earth。确实，就是身体好和不好，整个人的状态还是会差很多的。Yeah. How to strike a conversation with a strange foreigner? Like, what do you mean by strange foreigner? Like, how strange can this foreigner be? And what's your definition of strange? Or are you talking about a stranger foreigner, like a foreigner that you don't know, like how to strike up a conversation with a stranger foreigner? Is that your question? 穿越时光。So like we have so many foreigners here in the live stream, right? Like we have people from literally everywhere. Just so you know, like I ask people, what's the time now at your place? Like you have seen so many people out there like telling us they are from, for example, Europe, Copenhagen, right? From Ukraine, and also like we have people from Mexico. We have like people from America, right? Different places in America. So like we have so many stranger foreigners here in my live stream. If you want to strike a conversation here, you could actually just do from now. Okay, you could actually just do from now. So to be honest, like even though I am the host, I'm actually talking in here, but from time to time I do see people actually chat with each other in the common area. So they would add each other and ask questions and even answer. And sometimes like some people would ask questions that I don't have time to answer because I'm answering someone else's question, and also that there are too many comments coming in. That's why I can't just read every single one. So like some other people would then just reply to those questions and they would start a conversation. That's pretty interesting. So you could start from there, just from the comment area, just, be brave, and then just find someone who's asking the question or just telling something, and then you just reply, okay, just add this person and just start the chat. Yeah. And you have to go, Brian. So quick, so short. I'd love to have you longer in my live stream. Nytrix graduated from LSE. Yes, yes, yeah, graduated from LSE. And let's like if you said like how to strike a conversation in a park with the foreigners, like the only thing you need to do is just be brave. Okay, like here in China, we say like you have to be 社牛, right? Like you have to be like really, really extrovert, and just don't feel like embarrassed to talk to a stranger. There's a saying in Chinese, like everyone know, which is like if you don't feel embarrassed, it's the other ones who feel embarrassed. So just don't feel embarrassed at all. So like I actually told you guys like when I first started my career, I was a salesperson. Like I was a banker, right? But I was a banker working in investment bank. However, like my specific role was sales. So I was a salesperson. And to be honest, like I am not the kind of sales like I would just sit there and the bank would give me clients and I just only need to take care of the clients. I was the kind of sales back then when I first started my career. I was the kind of the sales that was like a hunter. So I had to go out and meet new people and just tell them like, hey, you need to bank with us, right? You need to purchase our products. So that's why like my book was all created by myself. Like I had to go out actively sourcing clients, prospecting clients, and just persuading them to be our clients, right? Something like that. And like one thing, like the very first lesson you learned is that you just need to be very, very brave. Like you cannot feel embarrassed all the time. So like in China, we say like you just have to just remove all the face you have, right? Just be very brave and just go out. So like, for example, I would go to all those networking session. There are so many like events out there, right? And many networking sessions. Like I'm not so sure if you guys have been to any of the networking sessions. Like I've been to so many networking sessions because as a salesperson, I just have to expand my network. I just have to expand my network, and there's no way that I can expand my network by just sitting in the office, right? I had to go out very actively to all those networking sessions or just go to any kind of events. So what I did back then was like, because like as a fresh starter, like it was like you always feel like very embarrassed to go out and strike up a conversation and talk to a person that you don't know and just standing out there, right? So like I actually just set up a goal. I said like, you know what? I spent this day coming to this networking session, and the goal of me coming to this networking session is just to meet people. So I have to set up a goal. If today I'm not able to meet 50 people by the end of the day, then I am not leaving this event. So, networking session 具体是啥？什么叫？你是说不？Ray，你肯定知道 networking session 的中文是什么意思啊？就是去各种各样的这种活动，可以认识人的活动呀。Yeah. So like social activities and parties, yeah, social activities and parties can be one example, right? But back then, like for me, I also went to all those like business occasions. For example, there was a big exhibition or a big conference, right? That's usually the kind of networking session that I would go, right? For example, there is one like specific kind of conference, right? So they would have a big stadium. They would invite all the kind of speakers like who are the elites of the industry to come talk on the stage, and there will be lots of crowd just coming to this conference to listen to those speakers to talk, right? So these can be like very good examples that I would just go to network with the people there, right? 喝水保护嗓子，谢谢你啊，Little Earth 提醒我，我经常会忘记这个事情。Yeah. So like also, 名花有主的死心吧。Yes, Michael. Yeah. So like, back then, like I attended so many networking session. Um, so so Ray, you are right. But the problem is like when the very beginning, if you don't have any channels, you have to build the channels. Like you start from like literally zero, then you have to just like build your own network and then start to build your own channels. So to be honest, back then when I started my career, there was not enough support. All the kind of channels you mentioned about were have to be built by myself, right? So like to be honest, like every day when I went to all those like conference, like the networking session, I just did one thing, which is I set up a target of like how many people I have to meet, have to get their name cards, get their contacts. Like so the only thing I told myself is like, okay, just don't feel embarrassed at all. As long as this person's not gonna kill me, then I just can go up front to her or to him just to talk, right? The worst scenario I will get is just this person's just gonna be like mean to me and just do not want to talk to me and just walk away directly. Like there's nothing to lose. So starting from the moment that I realized there is nothing to lose, then like I could have this courage just to strike up a conversation with literally everyone. So to be very honest, if the other day I saw Jack Ma on the street and like I feel like there's no problem, or Donald Trump or like whoever else walking on the street, like I definitely have this courage just to go up and talk to this person. I have no pressure just talking to any strangers, no matter how like famous this person is, like no matter what, because like the kind of mindset I have is that if this person is not gonna make me unalive, then there's nothing for me to lose. Then I would just, why not just go up to this person and talk to this person? Maybe, this person also enjoy the conversation of talking to me, right? So why not? Okay. Yeah. So I forgot who asked this question, but anyhow, like if you want to strike a conversation with a foreigner in the park, like I know lots of foreigners would just go to the park during weekends. Somehow that's kind of routines like a lot of like foreigners would do. So like one of the thing is just go up to them and strike a conversation. Yeah. And also like very interesting, like I actually also showed you guys or told you guys like every Sunday in one of the park, one of the biggest park here in Shanghai, that like there are a bunch of foreigners would get together and do like HIIT, right? Tabata in the morning on the grass, right? On the grassland. So like, you know, the reason why I was able to join them is simply because I was able to strike a conversation, just go there and say like, "Hey, can I join you guys?" And they say, "Yeah, sure, come join us." Like they are all like very friendly. Yeah.嗯哼，你们在干嘛呀？在评论区里面，我来看一下啊。嗯哼，旺旺你在发什么东西呀？这么勇敢，你 sales 工作也是做的有声有色哦，确实是 Ray。So back then, when I first started my career, to be honest, my kind of job was like really hard to do. It was almost impossible for a fresh starter, like a fresh graduate, to start a salesperson and build a book because the kind of clients back then, like we were targeting at, were all the biggest entrepreneurs, like the most famous entrepreneurs. And if once they started to open an account, they have to put 25 million US dollars with us. Like say for example, imagine yourself, like for example, if you yourself have like over 50 million US dollars and you're looking for a place to park a 25 million US dollar of deposit, like to invest, right? So like you wouldn't just go look for a fresh graduate, someone who were out of college, right? And to be your sales and to help serve you, to be your banker, right? So like it was extremely hard. It was like relatively easy for someone who has been in the industry for over 10 years, 20 years, right? They have the expertise, their face look older, right? And they do look like more trustworthy. So like back then it was almost impossible for a fresh graduate to start working in this job. And to be honest, like back then I was the very first one in my team to survive as a fresh graduate. It's also a very, very big story that I can share with you guys. Yeah. So when I first started my career, it was definitely very tough. So I joined definitely one of the most prestigious kind of bank on Wall Street. So, and when I first started, like as a fresh graduate, and I got to know, okay, my job was a sales role. So they have like the first 3 years as a trainee in the bank. And inside in the within the first 3 years, your main job was basically just helping all the big salespeople, all the big bankers, like to help them deal with all the clients. And after the 3 years, then you'll have to source your own clients and then just to start build your own book. The problem with that is, you know what, at the very beginning, for the very first 3 years, the kind of skill sets you learned by helping all those big bankers is basically how to open an account, how to do all the due diligence. These are not very same as like going out and sourcing for clients. The skill sets are really not matched. So previously, before me, there was no one who were able to survive. And like I was like very curious to know like why somehow like nobody just survived, right? When I joined the very first year, like I did not know that. And like I asked people, and like everyone in the team was telling me that, you know what, you should just enjoy your 1 year and 2 year being here, be an analyst, and maybe after the 1 year and 2 year, just go out look for some other jobs. There's no way for you to survive in this job. And somehow like I am not the kind of person who would say, you know what, since you say that I cannot survive, then I'm just gonna quit. I'm not the kind of person. I'm the kind of person like who really like to face the challenge. Whenever you tell me that I'm not gonna be survive, I tell you what, I will survive. Something like that. I'm just like that kind of person. So like what I did is like, I realized that okay, the skill sets between analyst, like the trainee, is very different from the kind of skill sets you would require to be a banker. So that's why like starting from the analyst years, I just actively start to train my own like skill sets to be a sales, to be a banker. So like I would use all my leisure time going out and networking as much as possible. As much as possible. Like I would just go out and talk to people, just train my skill sets. Like, and also like to be honest, right now I have a very great skill, a very strong skill to navigate conversations. Like also this kind of skill sets is also very good for me to do this live stream, right? For example, 所以你的英文发音就是对那些说你不行的人，谢谢你，Michael。Yeah. So, like for example, like no matters what kind of people ask me, the kind of what questions people would ask me in this live stream, right? Even though I could talk this, talk that, and there will be other questions coming in, ask me about this, about that, and my conversation will be dragged so far away. I would always have this ability to drag the conversation back to the main topic. These are all the skills that were trained back then when I was working in the bank. King Mercy, I think I seen you at Chase before at 270 Park Avenue. Something is not right with you. Either you don't engage with viewers or you talk like a radio. Okay, thank you for this suggestion. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I do have this problem from time to time. If I don't feel like enough energetic enough today, then I do feel like, I would talk like a radio and like, then, some people would start to ask like whether you are AI. Yeah. Okay. I'll try to engage more. Okay. I'll try to engage more. Okay. Try to engage more. Okay. So back to this story, right? So I was able to train lots of skill, and that's why like in then my very first in my team I was the very first one who was able to survive as analyst, as a trainee, and the survival ratio is like zero before me, and I was the very first one. And after I become a banker, and I was also like one of the very few who got fast tracked, like got quick promotion just after like 2 years, because usually they have like actually 1 year and a half. Usually, after you become a banker, it requires 3 years before you got promoted to the next level. However, like for me, after I become a banker, it only took me 1.5 to be promoted, like definitely fast track to the next level. So, like, Ray, you're right. Back then, when I was sales, I was definitely a very good sales. Like I was, to be honest, also a bit famous on the floor. Lots of people know me, and also the international CEO back then also even asked like other sales from other regions to reach out to me to ask me what's the secret sauce, why I was able to survive in the team, I was able to be a sales as a freshman, something like that. Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay, Dan, judging from what you're talking about and judging from the question you raised, so like whenever there are people coming in and asking me like, hey, how much does your government pay you to do this, something like that, I just feel like I'm having another person, like a pretty narrow-minded person, come into this live stream, and like really depends on the mood. Okay, so if I'm having a good mood, I'm okay with that. I will be very friendly and say like, you know what, I don't work for that, I just do this live stream for myself, and I'm doing this out of my personal interest, and I do welcome you to come stay in this live stream to listen to me for longer, so that you can have a better judgment whether I work for a government or not. Okay, if I don't have a good mood, I'm just gonna just talk backhand, still trying to be polite. I'm just gonna say, okay, to be honest, I'm not in such a very good mood today. So Dan, I have to say, like, you're pretty narrow-minded. You know what? Coming to this live stream, okay? So by saying that, the fact that you have never seen the world, you haven't seen a lot of Chinese people who are able to speak very good English and who really love their country and who just want to do this live stream to communicate, to talk to people around the world who are genuinely interested in knowing more about China. Okay, you are so narrow-minded, you have not seen people like that, so that's why you jump into this conclusion so fast. You have been brainwashed by the media, by your own government. That's why you come to this conclusion so fast, and that's why you leave this kind of comment, you leave those kind of question in the comment area. From time to time, I just see those kind of people, who would ask those kind of questions. And Ray, I think you are right. So like for those kind of people, I'm most likely they have never been out of the United States. Probably they haven't never even been out of their own state. This pretty much the high chance of that. They haven't really seen the world. So usually those kind of people who are very narrow-minded, then that would come to those kind of conclusions so fast. They haven't seen people like me. To be honest, there are plenty people like me, right? So I'm pretty sure there are lots of people in the live stream in the common area. You guys have seen like Chinese people, right? Who are able to speak very good English. And it's just like it's not so like a lot of Chinese people who would use live stream to do live stream in English, right? Most likely they would have live stream in Chinese. For me, I have never thought about starting a live stream in English before. If TikTok ban did not happen in January and so many foreigners flooded to Red Note, And I felt like it would be a great opportunity to talk to all the foreigners, since all the foreigners are so interested in knowing more about China. And I myself also am so interested in knowing more about this world. Then I started a live stream in January, right? If that didn't happen, then I would not ever think about even start a like a live streaming in English, right? So, you know, now you're lying by saying that you retired from something like intelligence profession and your job is monitoring Chinese propaganda. You know what? So like, okay, try American bride propaganda. Exactly, Dirk. It's everywhere, right? You're so right about that. Yeah. Okay, so Dan, the fact that okay, even if I believe in the fact that you say that you retired from intelligence profession, how can you say that you are not brainwashed by your profession, by your institution, by the kind of place that you work for? Like you said your job was monitoring for Chinese propaganda, then you're doing a bad job. Like you can't even tell what is propaganda, what is not, my friend. Yeah, you can't even tell the difference. Right. So basically back then your job was pretty easy, right? I feel like the kind of job you're basically doing is whenever you see someone with a Chinese face who are from China, who are talking about China while sharing things about China, you say, "Oh, boom, I find another Chinese propaganda." You know, that's your job, right? It's so easy. Like anyone can do it. Anyone can do it. Basically, you did not listen to me to talk, right? For example, today I talked nothing about China. I only shared about experience about me, myself, like back then, like how did I start my career? How was I able to network with other people? How did I start as a salesperson? That's the only thing I shared since I started the live today. You did not even listen to me to share about that. You did not listen to what are the things I'm talking about. Just by seeing me that I'm a Chinese, and also I said that I'm from China, and I was like telling Chinese people, sharing my experience about how to be brave and start strike a conversation, and also sharing my experience. You did not listen. You jump to the conclusion so fast by saying that I'm a Chinese propaganda. And if you are right, if you were not lying by saying that your job was monitoring Chinese propaganda and that you retired from an intelligence profession, I feel sorry for you. You definitely did a terrible job. You definitely did a very terrible job. And your job was so easy, right? Back then, your boss was, I'm going to say, like, your boss was stupid as well, like, by believing that you're doing a good job, okay? Like, oh my God, anyone can do that, right? Anyone can do that. And like you said, you retired from intelligence profession. Like this profession cannot be called intelligence profession because this profession basically did not require any intelligence. As long as one person has a pair of eyes, as long as the person can tell the kind of person across the screen is a Chinese or not, you know, you could just do the job, right? Oh my God. You know what? This dude is saying that telling me I'm brainwashed is a typical response from your government playbook. You know what? You are brainwashed. You know, I said everything so logical. I said everything so logical, right? I said everything so logical. I was saying like everyone. So how many of you guys have been in the live streams from the beginning? And tell me what are the things I've been talking about since the beginning of this live stream? Did I say anything about China? Like I even haven't really shared anything about China since I started this live stream, right? So I also post this live stream back then. So after the live stream, I would post this live stream on like YouTube, also on Bilibili. So for those of you, you could actually watch the replay of this live stream to prove whether I'm saying is right or wrong. And then you were saying like, oh, you know what? Telling me I'm brainwashed is a typical response from your government playbook. You know what? You did not listen to anything. You just grab one tiny small sentence. You what? Like telling someone you're brainwashed is like a curse. It's like something that only kind of is only a sentence that only governments say, like you cannot say. So like if you say that I can also claim do the very same thing back to you, right? I could also claim that, you know what, the fact that you're telling everyone here saying that I work for government propaganda, like I can also say you are propagandists. You know what, this is also a playbook by your government. It's a playbook, your government's playbook. Whenever there's someone coming to the live stream and say that I am working for my government to do this live stream, that is also a playbook of your propaganda, your government's propaganda. I can do the very same. This does not make any it does not make any sense, right? Use your brain, okay, Dan. Use your brain. You know, you so narrow-minded. Yeah, like like people actually just come to the live stream to listen to the content I share, right? From time to time, like I would share all those different kind of contents like to people. We discuss about what happened in the histories, what happened in the future, what's my view on what's going on right now. And like many of the opinions I shared is pretty unbiased, right? I would say what are the things I consider to be good, what are the places I think we consider we need to improve. Like I do say lots of things. And also from time to time, I also even would share stories about, for example, my personal, like my love story, right? And also like we also discuss like also like very interesting stories about like hemorrhoids, how to use Chinese medicines to deal with hemorrhoids problems, and also shared very funny stories about a interesting Chinese friend who have like big hemorrhoids problem and how was he able to find a doctor in Germany, like those kind of interesting stories. Like these are nothing related to propaganda. 信你情报推销人，还是信我是秦始皇？我更愿意信你是秦始皇，好吗？我情愿相信你是秦始皇，真的是这个傻逼，真的太傻逼了，这个男的真的是。今天那个，因为昨天晚上睡得比较晚，所以今天精神状态没有特别的好，所以情绪有点暴躁，情绪有点暴躁。Yeah，好的，记他吹牛逼爆点料，哎，可以啊，这个好办法。So Dan, if you're still in here, try to prove you're working for intelligence profession. Tell me exactly what are the intelligence you're doing, right? Tell me what are the kind of workplace it is like. What's your intelligence, your so-called intelligence kind of institution is like. What are the other stupid colleagues you have over there in your intelligence center? I just want to know more about that. Yeah, how are you doing? Yeah, Nitrous, remember, if more happy you're then more miserable then will be, don't worry about him. To be honest, Wesley, you know what? Actually, like I said, it's really depending on the mood. Usually I would not just ignore those people. It's because I do enjoy this process of just shouting back at this Dan. Right. So also sometimes like even though I said like it's not good for health, the other day we shared about like it's according to Chinese traditional medicine, like never be angry, right? Try to calm your mood. So I try to be not angry. However, I try to use it as a way to to release my emotion. Yeah. So because I went to the beach to watch fireworks last night, so I stayed up quite late yesterday. Didn't have enough sleep yesterday. Somehow because I promised people that I would have live stream tomorrow, uh, this morning. So I still like, even though I didn't have enough sleep, I still woke up this morning to have live stream with you guys. So whenever I did not have very good sleep, like my mood was not so good. So that's why like I had this kind of, to be honest, do enjoy just shouting back at this like miserable person. Yeah. You can have a fair battle with wits with someone who is unarmed. You're right, Louis the Cat. We have like a very similar saying in Chinese, which is called 秀才遇到兵，有理说不清. Like when you have like intelligence, when you're fighting with someone who does not have it, like even though no matter how logical you are, they just don't listen to you. There are just some people like I feel like some from time to time. Also, like if you guys go to TikTok and watch the posts I made and the video I made, I posted, and somehow like I seriously think like I've been like really patient, and I explained everything in very very details and in a very logical way, like by step. Like I just tell people, okay, what's the first thing you need to think about, what's the next thing that's a consequence of the first thing, and I just talk everything like in consequences and in logical and like very very clear, right? Somehow like people just choose to believe in the kind of things like they believe in, right? Yeah. So it's like, some people, they just want to believe in the kind of things they want to believe. They would not listen to what you're talking about, right? They just don't listen to you. So that's why we say like 秀才遇到兵有理说不清, right? In Chinese. So in English, it means like if you are like wise person, when you meet someone who is like not wise at all, like no matter how logical you are, like how patient you are, just talking this person, like he just wasn't able to understand you. So that's basically what are the kind of things I'm encountering now. I agree with you, but don't put yourself to his level. It's not worth. I know, Wesley. Yeah, I know it. I know it. I know it. I know it. Yeah，错过了高光时刻哈。有时候骂一骂其实还挺爽的，我觉得。 哎呦，真的碰到时不时就会碰到有一些特别傻逼的人，就是我心情好的时候呢，我就会很礼貌的去回复，对吧？那心情不是特别好，比如说像昨晚睡得不够多，心情不是特别好，是直接骂回去，骂回去还挺爽的呀。Yeah, so I know it, Wesley. It's just that, like I said, like whenever I did not have enough sleep, not in a good mood, you just want to shout, right? So I have to say thank you, Dan, to give me this opportunity to shout back at you. I'm not so sure if this dude is still in this live stream. I'm pretty sure he's out. I'm pretty sure he's out. I no longer see any comments from him. Yeah, I cannot be in a relationship or marriage with a dumb person. I don't have the patience or time. Yeah, I mean the same. I just insult them in Texan and say, "Well, bless your heart." Good. Yeah, gonna say that. Well, bless your heart. Yeah. Welcome, my friend. Texas, my friend, Texan friend. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to show frustration. Yeah, I like it. Yeah. 哎，可惜不能连线，不然问候他现任18 generations. You're so funny. Yeah, guys, follow me, please. Okay, follow me if you haven't done so. Okay. Yeah. So from time to time, there are just like people coming in and start. So to be honest, there are plenty of propagandas out there in the West. Some propaganda. So the other day, yesterday, I went. I told you guys like yesterday I went out to watch the fireworks, right? And at the beach, there is a beach at a suburban area of Shanghai. So there is a big fireworks. So we drive there and with two other friends. They're also a couple, right? And like the girl just found out recently that I was doing this live streaming. She did not know that, and she said, "Oh, I watched your live stream. It was pretty interesting, everything like that." And she asked me like, "What are the interesting questions you encountered during your live stream?" I was like, "You know what? There are like many very interesting, like sometimes I even consider it to be kind of weird questions, right?" One of the most popular questions I got a lot here is always about social scores. Is today Labor Day holiday? Yes, it is, Chris. It's like Labor Day, but today is the last day. Today is the last day, so that's why after the live stream, I'm just gonna take the rest of the day off. 啊，谢谢你啊，Little Earth 提醒我喝水，我老忘了，谢谢你啊，我每次看到你我就会喝水了。对，yeah. So like and then like she only got to know like I was doing live stream, and like one of the most popular question I got especially when I first started the live stream, like almost like every day I got this question like, "Hey, tell me more about social score. Hey, what's a social score? What's a social credit score? Oh, you were controlled by social credit score." And also like whenever I share something good about China, right? Because for sure there's so many good things about China I can share, right? It is one of the most powerful countries right now in this world. And also like China has 5,000 years of history. For sure there are so many amazing things in this country that I can share about, right? So that's why I share a lot of good things about China. And somehow, like, there were people saying, "What, you know what? Your score, your social score plus 1,000, something like that." 就我观察，老中嘴臭能力只有印度人可以匹敌，可惜防火墙保护了外边。温室花朵。Right? 你太搞笑了，你太搞笑了。Yeah. So like literally every day. So I explained again and again and again, and I feel like because like later on the kind of topics we share about were all like pretty in-depth kind of topics, right? So somehow I feel like the algorithm started to change and push this live stream only to people who are considered to be relatively also intelligent and also likes to have a deeper conversation, people who probably already have some knowledge about China, right? And then somehow like I do not encounter those questions a lot. However, when I first started like live stream, like so many questions, so many people just come in asking me about, "Hey, tell me more about social credit score." And so that's why like yesterday when I shared this thing to my friend, also a Chinese friend, and also she has been abroad, she studied in Cambridge. Okay, she studied a doctor degree in Cambridge. Okay, so that kind of smart. Okay, smarter than me because she studied a doctor degree in Cambridge. And I said that, you know what, like the most popular question I got in my live stream was like they asked me about like the social credit score in China, and she was like, what is social credit score?" I said, "Yeah, you don't even know about social credit score, right? That happened to me as well. Like nobody here in China knows about the social score, right?" And I was saying that I explained later on, explained to her, right, the kind of score that like people in the US and also in Germany and most of the Western countries educated is that Cambridge, not Sandwich, Cambridge University in UK, okay? one of the top university, Oxford, Cambridge. She pursued doctor degree in Cambridge. Okay, that was my friend. That was the one that went to see fireworks with me yesterday in Shanghai. Okay, definitely a very smart woman. I also was encouraging her to start a live stream as well, right? She's also pretty eloquent and has a pretty smart brain as well, right? Judging from the fact she was able to pursue a doctor degree in Cambridge, right? And so, wow, doctor, in my opinion, are not smart. Oh my god, and that must be, yeah, the PhD. Yeah, I'm talking about PhD. Okay. Yeah. So she was studying back then in Cambridge, studying PhD degree. Okay. So back to the topic, like I explained to her what exactly is the kind of credit score. So she told me that, then I explained to her, the kind of credit score, like the Western world educate their people about China is that like whenever we do something that makes our government happy, then we have an extra scores. If we do something that makes them unhappy, then we will lose score. If our score is low enough, we lose enough score, then every one of us will be sentenced to death. 啊，下次碰到不友善的提 social score 的，别说你不知道，来教我一下，Ray，教我一下，我该怎么回答？教我一下我怎么回答？And it's so funny, like like people would believe we actually have that. And I shared that with my friend, and they were like so confused, like with like very confused face, like, what that? Like, what exactly is that? And like I said, you know what? That was like people were educated about China, the kind of propaganda. 谢谢，随便看看这个花朵真可爱。谢谢，美美哒。Yeah. So like, and then they were like, and then I was saying that they were like, that is so ridiculous. It was like nonsense, so ridiculous. Like, how come there's something like that? And we have nothing like that. And I also share with her about some other like very interesting questions. I love Chinese history. I'm currently reading a book about Empress Cixi. Oh, that is good, Jeremiah. Okay, you change your profile photo, right? You change your profile photo. Yeah, to be honest, like here in China, Chinese people really hate her because we said like she was the kind of leader of China that made our country become so lagged behind back then during late Qing dynasty. Yeah. Like lots of people curse her a lot. Definitely do not like her. Yeah. So like back then, also back to the topic, right? We were sharing about. So I also shared with my friend about some other like very weird questions I got. For example, so many foreigners also had this kind of impression that here in China, we are not allowed to keep daughters. As long as new couples had newborn, that is a daughter, then we're definitely have to either make my daughter unalive or just gonna send the daughter away, something like that, These like very weird questions, right? And also some other questions, like let me think. What are the other questions? Yeah, and also like all sorts of like very weird like stereotypes about China. So these are definitely no longer the kind of China now. Like the kind of people's impression about China is too lagged behind. Yeah. So like that's why like I have to say from time to time, like judging from the fact like you guys ask questions that do not exist ever here in China, like for sure I can tell like some people are definitely brainwashed by the government. Okay, Dan, you're back, right? You're back. So you guys are definitely brainwashed, judging from the fact there's so many people just coming in and ask me question, ridiculous question about like, hey, tell me more about your social scores. Oh, you guys are not allowed to keep your daughters. You have like sweat factories out there, child labor, all those kind of things here in China. But the truth is, we have nothing like that. And if you think that what I'm sharing is not correct, what I'm saying is not right, you guys just could come to China and see everything with your own eyes. So there are plenty of foreigners here in the live stream that have been to China, who have even lived in China for so long time, and they can tell you they are more authentic than me, right? They're more authentic than me to tell the rest of the world like what is truly happening here in China. Nothing like social scores. And that is just one way of the Western propaganda to brainwash their own citizens, their own people about what's going on here in China. And just say, all those kind of social score. Like, we don't even have anything like that here in China at all. Nobody has that. Yeah. So, like, I can definitely say, like, so many of you guys are brainwashed. And also, there's also saying that, you know what? Like, also, people in the West were told that uh they cannot bring Bible here. Like they have to smuggle a Bible in here, secretly carry a Bible in here because once like policemen found a foreigner in China has a Bible, then they will catch this person and put them in jail in the police station, something like that. Like so ridiculous, shockingly ridiculous. Okay, shockingly ridiculous. You know, shockingly ridiculous. Like it's you can just openly carry a Bible walking on the street. You if you like, you can just even just carry a Bible like this, right? That's okay. Nobody worry about that. Or you can even there are also Chinese e-commerce platform is so developed, right? You can just order a Bible on e-com any of the e-commerce platform, right? On JD.com, on Taobao, on like AliExpress, just order a Bible, have it shipped directly to your home, and just hold it right in here. So like that's so convenient in here. There's nothing like what you cannot do, and we have so many churches in here as well, right? So Pope passed away, and that's why like I remembered like last week, right? I was like just walking, have a after dinner kind of walk with my husband, and just walk on the street, and we saw a beautiful church, and like they were like singing songs in the church, and I was able to just had a peek at the door gate of this church and seeing people singing songs, and everyone was holding like a candle, right? A candle in their hand. They were singing songs. Like somehow I feel like, to be honest, like even though I'm not Christian myself, however, standing at the gate of this church and seeing people inside it singing songs, the kind of song sounds like very pure. Somehow like feel me it makes me feel like really calm. You know, I see that. you know there are something like that, and somehow people out there were just tell me what you know it's I heard in China it's illegal to have that. Muslim also the very same. I have shared multiple times in my live stream, multiple times. I said that what, in every university here in China, in every university in China, it is almost by law that they must have a Muslim restaurant inside inside the university campus, specifically to cook meals for Muslim students. If it is not allowed here in this country, like why every university here in China would have a dedicated Muslim restaurant for Muslim students, right? Think, my friend, use your brain. There's so many Americans out there who just don't use their brains. Huh. Once they see what are the things that's told on the media, they just got brainwashed so easily, immediately, without having a second thought, like no critical. There are just so many Americans out there who are so I really have to say there's so many stupid Americans out there, like who haven't seen the world and who don't have critical thinking at all. Like just out there, just see anything that's someone said in the media and just immediately believed in it and say, you know what? Oh yeah, I believe in that. You know what? Sometimes like those media do many things on purpose. If you guys can go back and read some story about it's Murdoch, right? Is it right way of saying pronounce it? Is it Murdoch or Murdoch? The news king, the news king. What can anyone type his name in the comments so I know like how to pronounce it? 默多克有没有谁可以把默多克打到这个评论区？Murdoch, yeah, thank you, Anthony, thank you, Murdoch. Guys, if you guys haven't read the story about Murdoch, like how he's able to build his not Rudolph, my friend, it's Murdoch, okay? Murdoch. If you guys can go back and find a story to read about like how Murdoch started his news empire, just go search for. There are plenty of articles out there on the internet and plenty of also content creators like making videos about like the story of how Murdoch started his news empire. If you are able to read the story of how he's able to start the news empire, then you will able to understand the logic behind lots of media. Okay, I can share a little bit of my knowledge about like how Murdoch started his news career. So he actually was born in a family. His dad also owned a newspaper. Okay, so he's like a second gen of a newspaper family, and then like he's also an Australian, right? So back then, the reason why he was able to start his like news kingdom is basically he realized one thing: like newspaper. If you want your newspaper to sell big, it's never about like whether your newspaper is telling the truth or not. You guys can read about his story. So the truth is about whether your newspaper can catch people's attention and how you're able to elaborate the news, how you're able to tell a story that makes people feel it's very exciting to read, and also like to navigate the people, to manipulate, sometimes even manipulate people in a way that you how you want to manipulate people. So like he realized one thing, which is newspaper is a Rudolph Murdoch. Oh, that's why people say Rudolph. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I do not know his first name. Okay, so that's why like he started. He once he realized that newspaper is never about telling news, like authentic truth. Newspaper is always about telling people some exciting stories. Then he started to change all the newspaper he launched by just depicting all the news in a way that makes people feel like it's very exciting to read. So like that's why like whenever you start to see all those kind of news on media, nowadays social media even so, even more, because social media like people wants to catch people's like very short attention rate. So that's why like you have to really have like second thought, like lots of like personal critical thinking before you see something. Really have to analyze whether it is true or not, like come up to your conclusion. Sometimes even after you have some second thought, like even if you have some thinking, critical thinking, you still might come to a wrong conclusion, not to mention if you don't think at all, right? Like if you don't think at all, then like if you don't think at all, you're just like literally just brainwashed by all the media tell you, right? And sometimes that's very interesting. You would notice like media are like can be like contradictory to each other. Like one day it has like one thing and the other day it has another thing, and they can be contradictory. So Dan, I see your question, like your latest question I can answer to you. So by seeing the news from the media you mentioned about these names, I would also have a second thought. I never say that the kind of news they report is always correct, okay? They can be very biased. They can also, some of the news they report can also be pretty brainwashed as well. Like no matter what country in the world or what kind of piece of news, it's always like important to have a second thought. Just don't believe in everything you see, right? Sometimes the kind of news just don't make sense. You have to have your own logical thinking and to like deduct what are the things like they say make sense and what are the part of things that does not make sense, right? Sometimes those different medias when they say something they have a purpose. For example, in the US we see they always tell, okay, the rest of the world is in a mess, like your country is the best, like also news are like that. Oh, you know what, you know, China is in a mess, you know what, oh yeah, Europe is in a mess. Oh, you know what, by doing that, it's because like to be honest, like American people are living pretty fucked up, like living in a very messed up life yourself. However, by reading all the news you feel good because the rest world is pretty much living in a miserable life. So that's why like if so, it's okay that you yourself is also living a miserable life, you know, because the rest of the world is in miserable life, then it's okay for me to also live in a miserable life. Also probably maybe like I might be even better off, right? Because it looks like according to the media, according to how it picks the world, it looks like people in the world are living in the worst life than me, then people are happy. So that's just one way of manipulating people, okay? Yeah, so it's just like that. To be honest, like Dan, I also say the kind of the news center you mentioned it, I would not say they can be authentic all the time. They can also there can also be some propaganda. They can also some brainwash news out there just to tell the people who are watching that, you know, how good it is to live in this country. So that's why like whenever I watch those kind of media, I would also have a second thought, the critical thinking to judge whether these are true or not. I also noticed they would also lie. Yeah, so yesterday we were also discussing about that. They could also be lying. So like it's very important that to have your own critical thinking, to have your own judgment, just not be okay. I know like nowadays because we're exposed to a social media era, right? Everywhere you see like all the contents that's like it's we're born in the world in the era that are too much information, right? It's not like before it's hard to find information nowadays. Like the problem is like we were exposed by too much information. It's important to gain the skill sets, like to gather the useful kind of information for ourselves, right? So nowadays, the ability to be not brainwashed is so important. So it's too people are too easily brainwashed, too easily brainwashed. Like by when you are bound by all the information, no matter how smart you are, how strong, how critical thinking mind you have, like it's so easily that you can be brainwashed. So that's why like it's so important to think. Yeah, information overload. So that's why like have a second thought about everything. Yeah, just don't jump to conclusion too fast, okay? Just don't jump to conclusion too fast. So that's why I say I have stressed multiple times. Like there are plenty of people, right? And okay, just for one thing, like there are so many Americans out there who say like, you know what, asking me another question, which is, you know what, like they ask me like why there are so many Chinese students who want to study overseas. I do have that question a lot, right? So for all those like old followers who have been in my live chat, you do see question. People ask me, right? So foreigners would ask me like, hey, why so many Chinese people would want to study overseas? The reason why they ask this question, okay, listen to my logic, okay? The reason why they ask this question is because they do see with their own eyes as a foreigner that there are so many Chinese people who are currently studying abroad in other countries. For me, I also said I study abroad in other countries as well, right? I did my master's degree in LSE, London School of Economics, right? So the fact there are so many students studying abroad in other countries, like there's no way we're able to study if we don't understand English. We're not able to speak English, right? For sure, there are Chinese students, even though they're studying abroad, they still don't speak very good English. However, for sure, there are a bunch of Chinese students, after they studied abroad, they exposed to the English speaking environment. They were studying in top universities like myself, right, in LSE, in Oxford, and my friend in Cambridge, right? For sure, they were able to speak very good English. They had no problem talking to foreigners in English, right? So it is pretty common, okay, to see a Chinese face, a Chinese person who are able to speak very good English, okay? So that's why, like, whenever you open your phone and you start your live streaming, watching your live streaming, you start to see someone who are able to speak good English, but with a Chinese face. You should not tell yourself that, oh, okay, this is very rare, because it's pretty common. Like, so many foreigners. So if you admit that it's pretty common to see Chinese students study abroad, right, my guys, then you should also admit then it should also be pretty common to see Chinese people who are able to speak good English. If Chinese people are not able to speak good English, then how can these people study abroad in those universities for 4 years for the undergrad degrees, for 2 years for the postgrad degrees, or even for more years for the doctor degree, right? So that's why, so that's why, like, as a matter of fact, so that's why I say it's pretty okay to see a Chinese face, to be able to speak very good English. And so if you have a Chinese person who are able to speak very good English, then why can't this person start a live stream to share what she thinks about this world? What's wrong about that? Right? You have so big population of Chinese students who are studying abroad. So out of this big population of Chinese students, for sure there is a big proportion of those students who are able to speak very good English, right? Then then you come to this conclusion, then the Chinese students who are able to speak good English is a big population. Then out of the thousands, tens, hundred thousands of China, even millions of Chinese students who are able to speak. I'm pretty sure the numbers is millions. Okay, millions of Chinese students who are able to speak very good English. Then why can't any of them start a live stream? Simply because they want to start a live stream to talk to the world about China, right? I can sure also start a live stream to talk about other topics, which is also going what's going on in this live stream before, right? I also do not only share about China, I also share about other stuff, right? But the fact that if I start a live stream, I also have to think about what are the angles I need to share with the world so that people would be interested in coming to the live stream to hear me talk, to hear me share, right? I could also be a beauty live streamer to share about all the beauty secrets and just do the live stream of doing makeups, right? Teaching people how to do makeups because to be honest, I consider myself to be quite good looking. But like compared to the kind of topic I'm sharing right now, like which one is more attractive? So any girl can be a live streamer who does makeup, right? Who can be a makeup live streamer to teach people how to do makeup and then do those kind of live streaming. Then that makes me like no difference than others, right? You can be a Chinese to be that kind of live streamer. You can be American to be a live streamer. You can be a European. You can also be a Middle Eastern girl to do those kind of makeup live streamer. Then what makes me special? What makes me special, right? So I definitely need to come up with an angle. What kind of angle I need to get, what kind of angle that need to be in my live stream to attract people's attention to come watch my live stream, right? So definitely because I am an Asian face and I am able to speak very good English and I have abundant knowledge about China. So these are the special things about me. These are the personal tags about myself. Then that's why like I need to start a live stream that talks about that. It all makes sense, right, my friend? What do you think like what I say makes sense, my friend? So type one if you think what I said all makes sense. So type one if you think what I said I shared makes sense, okay, in the comment. So what I said is like definitely makes total sense, like why I start like my live stream, right? So there's no reason why you say that, okay, you know what, as long as you have a Asian face, Chinese face, you're able to speak good English, then for sure you work for your government. Then that doesn't make sense, right? So also we can also think from another angle. Okay, we can also think from another angle. So if anyone, as long as they have a Chinese face and they are sharing in this live stream about China, and then they must be paid by the government, then this government will be broke. Do you think like all the taxpayers money is gonna just pay people like me, myself? There are so many other ways that they can do this like propaganda in a more efficient, more cost-effective way than just paying people like me, right? To be honest, like even though I do have quite many audience on Red Note, which is a Chinese platform, like I don't think like I have that many audience on TikTok, right? Well, the maximum I ever got is have like 200 people online at the same time, which is not a lot. Like, why should they do that to me, right? There are so many other ways that they pay the money and have like a bigger effect. Like, why should they do that to me, right? So, like, okay, I'm glad that, okay, Dan also typed one. He also thinks what I said is like, makes sense. Like, okay, that is good. Yeah. So I'm not paid by to do this live stream. Okay, I can also share the story why I started this live stream. Okay, so people, for those of you who are new in here who doesn't know too much about myself, okay, a bit about myself. I am entrepreneur myself. I'm not a full-time host. I usually would only have my live stream from 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. China time. Okay, I myself am an entrepreneur. So last year I worked on a project. I started a project together with my team, which is an AI project, an AI app called Austerity. So that AI project used latest generative AI technology to generate photos, portrait photos for people. And so we launched this app and targeting at the US market, foreign market, as a matter of fact. So we target the foreign markets and we wanted to do that because we think that AI is a huge, huge market. And so we want to eat a piece of cake out of that kind of market. So we did this app. However, one of the biggest problem is about marketing. So we had already made this app, but when it comes to marketing, we were like struggling. So did not try enough intention for people to come to see this app, to download this app. So when January, what TikTok ban happened, lots of foreigners flooded to Red Note and then consider, well, wait, maybe that would be a good time. Since lots of people are coming here, if I could start a live streaming to talk about the kind of app I made and also to talk about China, maybe potentially I could attract some attention. So that's why I started my live stream and started my Red Note account back then in January. However, later on, discover one thing, which is that there's a mismatch, right? The kind of people like who are the potential users of the app are not the potential people who would come to the live stream to listen to me to talk about like China. So somehow, like the target audience of me is different from the target audience of my app. So that's why I stopped talking about this app. I just focus entirely on talking about sharing about China because there are so many people out there who are genuinely interested in knowing more about China. So that's why I started doing that. And that's the whole process of this entire journey of how I started live streaming, how I'm able to do everything like this now. It makes all sense, right, my friend? Yeah. Is your name the same on Random? Yes, very same. Call Nytrix. Okay, same name and same profile photo. So uh, it's called Juniper, right? So Juniper, just go search Nytrix on Red Node. You guys will be able to find me there, and it's the very same profile photo. Okay, same profile photo. Yeah. And only 21. What 21? Yeah, my friend. Will do. Okay, yeah. So guys, just so you know, I'm actually doing live stream across different platforms. And you if the kind of platform you're watching me is not the major platform you use, you could actually search me in other platform as well. Okay. So for example, right now I'm doing live stream on Rednote and also on TikTok. I'm pretty sure also on YouTube, on Bilibili as well. Like different platforms at the very same time. So you guys could also just go to other platforms, search for me. Okay, the very same username called Nytrix. Okay, so it's either Nytrix or Nytrix 456. Okay, because back then in January, what's the biggest show? What's the biggest show on Netflix? What's the Netflix? That is one called Squid Game, right? Squid Game. So Squid Game, that one, the guy had like 456. So that's why like I was also watching Squid Game, and that's when the moment I started my account. So that's why like it's Nitrous 456. Yeah. So across the majority of the platform, it's either like Nitrous 456 or it's just pure Nitrix. Except Instagram. Instagram is Nitrix underscore A. Nitrous underscore A. So that's my Instagram account. So you guys can go everywhere and search for me. Yeah. It's over there. Yeah. Yeah. What's that app? Mr. 224. So it's an app called Alterity. Alterity. You could actually download it. Just go search in the App Store. You'll be able to find this app. It's Alterity. Yeah, it's still out there. Yeah. It's called Alterity. Yeah. So that's an app that I and my team built together. So that's the reason, that's actually the reason why I started my account on Rednote and later on, just somehow it's pretty much a small success. That's why I started the account in other platforms as well. So far, I really enjoyed it because whenever I have my live stream, I just have so many people coming in, and every day is like a very interesting conversation. Every day, interesting conversation. Every day, like new faces, and also we have like many loyal followers coming in the live stream almost like literally every day and just talk to me, and I do enjoy it very much. I do enjoy it very much. And at the very beginning, I never thought like I would be doing it for long. I was thinking to be honest, very beginning when I first started a live stream, I thought it was going to be a very short window period. I was able to talk to people across the globe, and I would not be able to do it for long. And now it's been like 3 months, right? I've been doing live stream literally every day, and like everyone coming in, and I was like really happy to talk to people. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, you can find, you should be able to find it. It's out there. Yeah, I don't have enough battery in here, otherwise I'll be able to show you directly on the phone. Just go to Apple Store. Okay, Apple Store, go to Apple Store, search Alterity, Alterity. Make sure you type the letter right. Yeah, it's out there, it's out there. Yeah, so as a matter of fact, my profile photo was made using my app myself. No, Android. Yeah, the Android version is not launched. Only the Apple version. I remember the Android. Wait, is the Android version out yet? Oh, the Android version is not out. Android version is not out. Only Apple version. Yeah. So Android is very very strict back then. So we wanted to launch the Android version, but like Android is like so strict. So they have to like first of all you have to have like how many people download and must give you some feedbacks, and then you have to improve on the feedbacks, and then have together another how many people's feedbacks and download it, get feedbacks, like etc. Like do like the process of launching an app on Android is so much more complicated than launching an app on Apple Store. So that's why, like back then, we only launched it on Apple Store. So if you have an iPhone, just go to Apple Store and search for it, and that's the app we built. Yeah. Okay. And guys, follow me please if you didn't do it. Yeah, follow me if you haven't done so, and tap the screen to sending likes. Okay, tap the screen to sending likes. Yeah. So we had a pretty good conversation today. Yeah, pretty good conversation today. I do have an iPad. Yeah, I have Samsung and Xiaomi and OnePlus cool devices. 快点烧起来，烧不来，不好意思啊。烧不来, yeah. Yeah. So, oh, okay, guys. Also a bit of others. So that's an AI project I did, right? So also like back onto the journey, right? I discovered right the kind of audience I attracted are very different from the kind of target users for my app. So that's why I stopped just talking to people about my apps, and I was basically just focusing on sharing about China because there's so many people out there genuinely interested about China, and I have shared so many different topics, right, my friends. So I remember before I shared about like traditional Chinese medicines, and also about the Chinese fortune telling system, right? I shared about like what's the difference between yin, about yang, about tai chi, about the balance, and also the five elements in the traditional Chinese medicine system, and what are the things you should do, and how to observe yourself, right? How to observe your tongue, right? By seeing the color of your tongue, the shape of your tongue, and the pattern on your tongue, and how you're able to tell the the health condition of your body, right? And based on the health condition, what are the things you need to do? For example, I also have shared multiple times, right? How to use gua sha ban to like rub your face. Is it called rub? What do you guys call it? Like, guys, teach me what's an English word to say this this move. Yeah, what's this called? What How do you call this? And how do you say English? What's the kind of what I'm doing now? Tell me, teach me English. Okay, is it called rub? It's called rub. Like in Chinese, we call it gua. I'm not so sure how to say it in English. Teach me, teach me. Okay, how to say it? Yeah. So also like I also share lots of time like how to do it to gua sha, yes, gua sha, scrap, yes, scrape or scrap, scrape or scrap. Yeah, yeah. So like you do something like this. I have shared also. It's called scrape or scrap. It's a or scrap or scrape, my friend. Yeah, teach me, teach me. It's scrape or scrap. What's the pronunciation? Yeah. Okay, so like I also share like by doing this, it's also good for your body. Right? A, okay, scrape. Yeah. Thank you, my friend, for teaching me that. Yeah. So like we have shared lots of like that kind of topics, right? And also what kind of things you need to drink, the herbal teas, right? You need to drink to cure your body. Like we shared a lot of that as well, right? So many very interesting things about like China we have shared in this live stream, right? Every day. It's just because like people do enjoy those kind of conversations. There are like people out there who are genuinely interested in knowing more about China, about like the Chinese wisdom. So this is a country with 5,000 years of history. So when we are talking about 5,000 years of history, like whenever you have a country with 5,000 years of history, it must have lots of wisdom. Must have lots of wisdom. We also shared a lot about like fortune telling, right? I also said like the kind of Chinese ways of fortune telling is very similar to the Western way of fortune telling, right? So for the Western way, like you guys would watch the sky and see where the sky, the stars are like, and say like the horoscope, right? The Western system is like you have this what we call 黄道12宫. They have like 12 palaces, and each palaces would mean different things. And you see like where you were born, like each star would fall in different like palaces, and that's how you're able to tell fortune telling, right? So the Chinese system is also very same. It's also about telling where the star is, and like where it does it fall when you were born, and how to do the fortune telling. So wisdom, East and West, they share something in common. And why they are so common, there are so many things in common. Why they are so similar to each other? Because they were proved for so many years, like after so many like years, 5,000 years of like it's picture the impossible. Yeah, yeah, picture the impossible. Yeah, that's the alternative, picture the impossible. Yeah, that's what we our motto. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you're right, you found that, right? Yeah, so also another proof I'm not lying. Okay. Yeah, so like the reason why they have so many things that shared in common is because after like so many years, right, 5,000 years of 5,000 years of what were I saying? Okay, after 5,000 years, like of proving whether it is right or wrong, like people eventually discover, right? Okay, actually, those kind of fortune telling system does make sense, right? So basically, yeah, what's going on? Yeah. Hmm. Right after 5,000 years of evolution, people discover that they do make sense. So like it's not only about fortune telling, right? It's also about many other things, like what are the food you need to eat, what's the healthcare routine. Like for example, nowadays, like these several days, I started a new routine, okay, which is rub the stomach. Okay, there's in Chinese, there's another way, another like health keeping way, which is rub your stomach, rub your belly. Oh yeah, it's almost 9, guys. Tap the screen to sending likes. Yeah, tap the screen to sending like. For those of you who haven't followed me, definitely follow me. Okay, you it's the China people. Yes, I am China people. 我中国人啊，中国人宝宝，中国宝宝啊，你的这个英文写的挺有意思哈，看懂了，看懂了。其实大家中国人不需要就是什么真的把英文学的特别好，你其实把这些词认出来，别人能听懂就行了。 语言本质上就是沟通的桥梁嘛，只要能够让人能够懂就行了，不需要什么 grammar 这个语法很精准之类的。Yeah, so nowadays I started a new routine which is rub the stomach. So in Chinese, there is a saying called 仙人揉腹. It's pretty magical. You guys can have a try, okay? You guys can have a try, okay? 作者是 China 人，对，作者是 China 人，Yeah. So for example, before sleep at night, just lie in the bed, okay? Lie in the bed, like make your whole body very relaxed, and you start to rub your stomach. Like you rub your stomach like this, like do it for like well actually there are different ways of doing it. So this is the first way of doing it, and like you can go down and also do something like this, in the middle do something like this, and also make a circle, and the circle make the circle become bigger and bigger, something like this, like multiple ways of rub your stomach. Okay, so just rub your stomach. Try to rub your stomach for example like 5 minutes. Just keep on rubbing it. Like different people would have different symptoms. Like for example, one magical symptoms I have is when I start to rub my stomach, my feet start to sweat. My feet start to sweat. It's like very interesting. So according to the traditional Chinese medicine system, like if you look at the whole human body, there are three focus points. The head is like the upper focus point, the stomach's the middle focus point, and the down below is like the downward focus point. Okay, so you have to have all the focus point interact with each other. There's no blockage in between. Then the energy flow is like very smooth inside your body. Then you can be very healthy. So many of the people nowadays, because we work in office, we sit a lot. Like we don't like stand up, walk a lot. So that's why like this part can have some blockage, right? That's why like from time to time when you eat a lot, you start to feel like your stomach very uncomfortable. So that's why you need to rub your stomach to make all the blockage in here go away. 上焦、中焦、下焦，不知道英文怎么讲，我随便翻译的哈。And to make this like yeah, lots of people start to have like fatigue in the stomach, right? So that's because you have lots of blockage in here. So that's why you need to rub your stomach a lot to make the blockage here go away. So like everything in the entire the energy flow can flow to up or down like more smoothly. So that's why that's what it does, right? So this is like a traditional Chinese medicine, and it's very interesting. Like when I started to rub my stomach for like 5 minutes, like I can feel like my feet start to sweat. So which also means like the energy flow starts to flow really, right? And in Chinese we call like the 湿气应该从下面排出去了. Right? You rub the stomach, the entire body's humidity just go down below and goes out from your feet. The feet starts to like release all the humidity, the extra humidity, wetness out of your body from your feet. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So China has lots of wisdom for sure, right? So this is just one thing I shared with you guys, right? This is one of the wisdom we have here in China, which is like how to use all the different ways to treat your body to make you healthier. And I'm rubbing, you're rubbing, right, Steve? Yeah. And there are so many other things, that's so many other wisdom in Chinese history that can like people just need to learn, right? So what I just talked about is like the related to health, right? The Chinese medicine system, the wisdom that comes out of 5,000 years of history, right? There are also lots of philosophy, right? And this morning when I was sitting on my toilet, I was scrolling down the phone, I also saw a very interesting post that says something like, what's the difference between Buddhism and Taoism and also Confuciusness? Because these are the three biggest kind of things here in China when it comes to philosophy, right? So, like it says, like Buddhism is about like how people interact with themselves, like the world and me, right? And and Confuciusness is about me and others. And also Taoism is about me and the world. Like it's very interesting. 用中文来讲的话，就是说佛学是关于我与自己，道家是我与世界，然后儒学是我与他人。I think it's pretty interesting. Like, okay, say it's gonna repeat again. So I think it's very interesting. Like when it says like the biggest three philosophy here in China is first Buddhism, Taoism, and also Confuciusness, right? And when you have the three theories, like it's very interesting. Like Buddhism, it says like it's about me and myself. right? Like how do I, so that's why like in Buddhism you hear a lot about like 我他我等等很多这种东西 those kind of concepts, right? And also like in Taoism it's about me and the world, right? So that's why in Taoism we have shared about before, right, studying the yin and yang, the world, like you have to live your life according to the natural, according to the pattern of the nature, right? For example, when the sun rises, then that's the time you need to get up. When the sun falls, it's time you need to rest. You have to live your daily agenda, your daily life according to the pattern of the nature, and that's how you're able to live a longer life, right? That's how you're able to live 140 years. So Taoism, those are all about Taoism, right? Taoism is about you and the world. It also makes sense, right? And also when it comes to Confuciusness, it's also about like it's about me and other people. For example, we also share a lot about the Confucius thinking, right? The reason why Chinese people do welcome people from all around the world to travel in here, we're always very friendly to greet other people. Like Chinese people are very generous to treat people from other countries to travel here in China. Is because in our Confucianism, we say like 有朋自远方来，不亦乐乎, right? Isn't the joy to have friends from afar, right? That's the English translation of a very famous saying of Confuciusness belief, right? And also another very famous saying is 山人行必有我师. If I'm walking with two other of my friends, then if I'm walking with two people, then there must be someone that out of the two people that is my teacher, something like that, right? You would notice lots of saying the Confucianism is about the relationship between me and other people. So I do consider that to be a really good conclusion summary of the three biggest philosophies here in China. Yeah. What is the philosophy do you prefer most? Buddhism. Yeah. Well, even though I don't practice Buddhist, I don't really I'm not a Buddhist myself. Okay, Buddhism myself. Nytrix 早上好，你早上好啊，小五是新加坡的，你好哈。Yeah, yeah, guys, follow me, please, if you haven't done so. Okay. Yeah. So, because like I'm pretty fascinated by lots of the philosophy, because that philosophy, like I said, talks about like how you deal with yourself, right? How you deal with yourself. 在说孔夫子嘛，我们在说道学、儒学和佛学这三者的这个区别，在讲这个哈，Yeah, very interesting topic, right? Yeah, so you know, and also we say that and somehow like we say that out of all the different kind of theories in, and so we have like so many different religions in the world, right? And somehow like Buddhism is the only religion that admit that there are all sorts of different gods. Right. So, like, if you look at other religions, you only notice there's only one God, right? But when it comes to Buddhism, admit there are actually all sorts of different gods. So it's pretty unbiased. And also, its philosophy talks to people, teaches people a lot about like how to interact with yourself. So nowadays, lots of the kind of burden we have is created by human beings themselves, right? The reason why we become anxious, why we worry, it's not because this thing worth worrying. So like many of us have the kind of feeling that looking back, right? For example, looking back 10 years ago, right? Something that we worried a lot so heavily back then, 10 years ago is like literally just nothing today, right? For example, every one of us, when we were little, we would worry about not able to handing homework on time, worry about like, okay, I did something wrong that would piss my parents off. I was so panicking. But nowadays, when you look back, 对的，哲学层面道和儒都是无神论者，所以我会觉得它是一个非常棒的一个宗教。你说的其实有一定道理的，因为它其实是觉得并没有说是说某一个，对吧？神啊什么之类的。Yeah, so okay, back to the topic. So that's why, like, you know, I feel like, you know, looking back to what happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago, what you just fared, it's nothing today, right? So, like, lots of the philosophy in like Buddhism is about like how you deal with all those kind of anxieties you have that is not necessary, right? And how to have a wider, broader wisdom to look at this world using a broader perspective, not just to just focus everything about yourself. So that's like pretty interesting. Taoism is also pretty interesting. Yeah, so recently I study a lot about Taoism because Taoism also like one branch of Taoism also talks a lot about like keeping your body healthy. Yeah, keeping your body healthy, like how to live your daily life, because lots of the lots of the doctors, Asian Chinese, famous Asian Chinese doctors, they are actually Taoists. They're Taoists. So that's why like they have their lots of their thoughts written in their books. Like very famous Asian Chinese doctors wrote in their Chinese like medicine book that has been passed on from thousands of years, right? And tells about things like what are the things you can do to keep your body healthy, like the yin and yang theory, like I shared before, right, in my live stream. It was a pretty interesting live stream back then, and lots of people watched it. Yeah, yeah. I think you found a great angle to explain. Yeah, thank you. I think I have a lot of rage, but I know how to channel it and handle it. Yeah, good. I prefer Taoism, but there are very few people here that do so. Oh, okay. It's pretty rare for a foreigner who likes Taoism. Yeah, but that's good that you like Taoism, right? Yeah. 还有什么一些道教学院啊，什么在这边还挺难进的呀，呀，还挺有意思的。How did you learn English? I learned English when I was little. Yeah. So like I just noticed like in China, like not everyone started learning English at a younger age. So for example, in Shanghai back then, like everyone needs to start learning English starting from the grade of from third grade, which is from 10 years old. So starting from third grade, we started to learn English. And my friend, the Cambridge PhD girl, she said that she actually started learning English from seventh grade in middle school. So I then realized like in different part of China, English education started in different age. Yeah, different age. Feng Shui is also part of Taoism. Yeah. Do you guys believe in Feng Shui? Do you guys believe in Feng Shui? Yeah, Feng Shui is very interesting. Yeah, Feng Shui is also yeah. So Plato, I'm not. It's just like I'm very fascinated by its theory, by its philosophy, but myself am not. Like I'm not a vegetarian. You have to be a vegetarian yes to be a Buddhist. I cannot resist eating meat. I'm a meat lover. Yeah, I definitely love eating meat. So I remember like back then, I remember like many years ago, there was a trend like people eat like vegetables only, right? Be a vegetarian. And they say it's good for your body, right? By eating only vegetarian food, it's good for your body, something like that. And somehow like I got also attracted to that kind of thinking and started trying to eat vegetables only. And after 2 days, after three meals only, then I gave up. I just cannot not eat meat. Out of all the things, I just love meat so much. I cannot live out without meat. I do like meat a lot. I just love meat so much. So that's why I cannot be a vegetarian. I just love meat so much. Yeah. Not enough protein. Yeah, right. So I really like egg and really like milk. However, after doing a body examination, I discovered that I am what's it called? What's it called? The what's it called? Intolerant, laxo intolerant. Is that the right word? So somehow I should not be eating eggs and milk because my body is actually not able to lactose. Yeah, I'm actually lactose intolerant. Yeah, I did not realize that after eating a lot of egg and meat for 30 years. Then, like the other day, I did a body check and I realized that I'm actually lactose intolerant. Yeah. So later on, realized that I actually cannot eat egg and meat, egg and milk. So yeah, I never realized that. So yeah, and it's very interesting. Okay, I'm gonna just share with you guys. Like after I stopped drinking milk, it's also true that I discovered that I fart a lot less. Yeah, yeah. But to be honest, I really like egg and milk. I can just drink milk as I like milk up to a point that I can just drink milk like I drink water, drink soft drink, something like that. I can just drink milk like drink Coke, drink Sprite. So I can basically just eat everything and use milk as a drink. Imagine, for example, I if I go to eat hot pot, I can drink milk as the soft like the soft drink. Like people would order like Sprite or Coke, right? I would want to order milk. Sometimes I even would just because usually in the hot pot restaurant they do not sell you milk. So that's why sometimes I would even just go to a convenience store to buy a carton milk and then just go to just bring the milk, a bottle of milk and just bring the milk to a hot pot restaurant and eat everything, drink milk. And whenever I eat potato chips, Lay's potato chips, I would also drink milk. So I basically just use milk to as water to drink. So that's also the reason why I'm pretty tall. I noticed like one thing, okay? So if you guys have kids in home that is actually at the age of, for example, around 10, at the 10 to 15, at the age that's growing in height, definitely ask him or her to drink lots of milk. So I have actually observed like all my friends who are tall. So one of the things they share in common is that they all drink lots of milk. They all drink lots of milk. So like three things. Like one is they drink lots of milk, and second thing is they sleep a lot. Okay. So the third is yes and no, because back then I didn't do the third a lot, which is they jump a lot. Okay. I don't think I jump a lot. But for boys, they say like for those of them like play basketball because they play basketball, they jump a lot. So somehow jumping is also good for growing heights. So I know like there are like many moms here, right? Many moms and dads in here in the live stream. So if you guys have kids at home, so just so you guys know, like I'm pretty tall. I'm 174 centimeters tall, which is 5 feet 5'8" when it comes to feet. Okay, I'm 5'8". I'm 174 centimeters. Definitely very tall, right? No matter what kind of criteria you use in the world, no matter in the Europe or in America and China, someone with 174 centimeters tall is definitely considered to be tall, right? I'm very tall, yeah. So like the kind of secret why am I able to be that tall is simply because back then I drink lots of milk and also I sleep a lot. Okay, I sleep a lot. So like for those of you guys, like you are a dad or mom and you have a child, you have a boy or girl at home who are at the age of growing height and you do want him or her to grow like taller, then definitely just like make him drink lots of milk and like ask him to sleep a lot. So that's like so important, so important. Yeah. 有没有几个人听懂啦？来，好好练习了。粉白小鲨鱼，赶紧多练练英文，不久以后你也能听懂了。Yeah, I'm very tall. Yeah. So that's why like so the other day I also so the other day I also shared with you guys that I said that you know what in China, oh not in China. So I was able to meet another content creator on Red Note, right, in person in Shenzhen. And the first thing she said when she saw me is, "Oh my God, you have such a small face." So my head is relatively small. Like I have said multiple times because like you guys can see like my face is basically just some palm big, right? However, when it's on screen, you don't see it, right? You wouldn't notice that I'm actually very tall and actually my face is pretty small, right? So when she saw me in real person and she saw I'm like really tall, like when you are very tall, right? When you're very tall and your face is relatively small, like you just feel like the face is extra small. So like she said that, "Oh my God, your face is so small." She said that. Yeah, and also I did a calculation just by calculating by measuring how big is my face and how tall am I. I'm actually the night yeah, night beauty according to Chinese saying，就确实是九头身哈，自己有量过，就是因为头比较小嘛，所以再量了一下身长，差不多就是九头身。Yeah, night body we call it here in China. Yeah, you're like an alien. Okay, I would love to take that as a positive comment by saying that I am alien. Yeah, okay. Like alienly beautiful, right? Yeah. Hmm. Cute small face. Now that you say it, I can imagine. Yeah. Now you guys you can imagine, right? I say that, imagine that. Yeah. So yeah. So like also I there was one time I went to watch a Amani fashion show. So in the Amani store, they just did a fashion show, like have some models just walk by, right? You will notice that all those like fashion models, they have extremely small face and they are very tall. So that's why like the whole body, the kind of proportion of the body proportion just looks like so balanced because their face is so small, right? It's so small. Like I have seen like so many guys, their face is like this small. Can you imagine? Like my face is already so small. Like when I see those like supermodels, like some supermodels, like even male models, male supermodels, their face is like this small, like so small. And also they have like very wide shoulders and also like very tall bodies, right? So eventually what you see is like someone is like you're seeing like a very stretched person, and like very, very balanced. Yeah. I like your earrings. Yeah, whenever I wear this pair of earrings, like people just like it. So like I'm definitely gonna, just ask my team to sort out the logistics and like the stores. Like still some like problems with the stores. Somehow like once the store is all okay, I can link the products to my page so people can place orders directly and just order directly, order this kind of beautiful earrings if you think what I wear is beautiful, and also this beautiful necklace, this beautiful like ring. Like if you guys really like it, you can just order directly from going to my homepage. We're still sorting it out. Yeah，肯定是大长腿，那肯定的呀，腿肯定是长的嘛，长那么高了，腿肯定长的。对，但是现在长胖了，长胖了以后腿有点粗，屁股有点大，所以这两天现在在健身，要把自己给瘦回去，瘦回去。前一阵子没有好好的养生。Yeah, so I'm saying like nowadays I'm actually working out, trying to keep myself fit. Yeah, so nowadays like I actually haven't really worked out a lot for the past 1 year, so I could feel like the muscles is definitely losing. So I could feel like this arm is no longer like before, like the arms is no longer like before, has muscle very strong, like we start to have those kind of yeah, no longer like fit arms like before. What's it called? We call it 肥肉. Not so sure what's it called in English. Yeah. So like nowadays I have to restart all the workout routine, trying to be just fit as usual. So there is a period of time, there's a moment of time that I actually do have a very fit body, like a perfect kind of body. Yeah, before, but no longer now. No longer now. Yeah. So according to my friend, they say that okay, so before you were like this, and now you are like this. Yeah. You do not have bad twins. What do you mean by you do not have bad twins? Yeah, 控糖控 GI，我知道，就是现在管不住嘴。It's very hard to control what to eat nowadays, to be honest. Like no longer like before. So when I was like in my 20s, especially early 20s, like no matter how much I eat, I just don't get fat. I just don't get fat. For example, I would eat and get fat, and as long as I just go back to the normal amount of food I eat, I just become skinny again. So like once I reached the age of 28, somehow like all of a sudden just 27 or 28, that's the age like I start to realize that if I eat and I don't control it, I will just grow fat. And somehow like it was still back then at around 28, 7, 28, it was like still quite easy to control it. Like it's not like so before I do not control it at all, like 27, 28, I have to start to control, but it's not like very hard to control. So as long as just maintain the kind of food I eat, like I don't need to stop in order to keep myself like fit and skinny. However, now it's like the up to a moment that if I want to keep the same level of skinniness as before, then I do have to starve myself. But somehow I just don't want to starve myself, so that's why like I need to go from this to this. Yeah. Bat wings equals the arm wiggle you just showed us. Oh, okay. This is called bat wings. Oh, okay. Oh, that's why you say I do not have bat wings. Okay. 呀，年轻时觉得吃不饱，高级餐馆吃不饱，对的，觉得米其林餐厅一口一个，一口一个，那什么鬼？这吃都吃不饱。现在不行了。Yeah, yeah. Okay, thanks, Louis the Cat, by saying that I do not have bat twins. Okay, so this is called bat twins. Then what is this called? This is called like some ladies. I don't have a lot of that, a little bit of that. So what's this called? We call furu. What do you call it here in English? Teach me, my friend, English. What is this called? 这个叫做副乳. What's it this called? What's this called? This thing called? Gonna be higher and show you in here. Pretty funny. What's this called? So funny. Yeah, what's this called? Oh, side boob. Oh, okay, side boob. Okay, thanks guys for teaching me English. Okay, Chinese friends, we're all learning it. Okay, okay, my friend is called side boob. Okay, yeah. 哇，真的叫这个 because Chinese we also call it 副乳. We also call it the side boob. So it's direct translation to Chinese. But this one we do not call it. We call it what do we call it in Chinese? 这个我叫什么？我们叫这个什么？这个叫什么？蝴蝶袖还是叫什么？中国的宝宝，这个叫什么？这个叫什么？我忘了。这个肉叫什么来着？拜拜肉哦，拜拜肉。Yeah, yeah, right. So in Chinese we call it bye bye meat. Bye bye meat. Wait, why do we call it bye bye meat? Is it because we when we wave bye bye, like this meat was just gonna like shake? So that's why we call it bye bye meat? Wait, why do we call it bye bye meat here in China? Yeah, we also call it the butterfly arm. Butterfly arm. So in English, it's called bat wing. We call it butterfly arm or bye bye meat. Is it because we wanted to say bye bye to this meat? That's why we call it the bye bye meat? Yeah, we call it bye bye meat. Yeah. 男的不知道，女生都知道拜拜肉。我们叫这个拜拜肉，bye bye meat, something like. Yeah, maybe it's because when you wave bye bye, like you see this meat like shaking, right? You guys see it, right? When I wave, this is shaking. So funny. Okay, and also for Chinese friend, this thing is called side boob. Okay, just like we in here. Yeah, side boob. Yeah, and also what we call belly. 这个大肚腩 big belly, right? Big belly. Yeah. I think it means by farty. I think it means by farty. You're so funny, great energy. Yeah, yeah. I consider myself to be a funny person, and I'm never embarrassed to just you know tell jokes about myself and embarrass myself to make other people laugh. Yeah, we do enjoy doing that. Yeah, guys, follow me, please. Okay, follow me, please. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. So follow me, please, if you haven't. Oh, yeah, guys, on Red Notes, there's also a group in here that you guys can join. That's my followers group. Okay. So for those of you who have not joined my chat group, you guys can also join my chat group. So from time to time, we would also talk to people in there. So definitely join it. Okay. Yeah. Rarer qualities nowadays. What rarer qualities, my friend? What is the rarer qualities you're talking about? Yeah, love your earrings. So another one who said, love my earrings. Whenever I wear these earrings, like so many people say they love these earrings. So guys, wait a moment. Very soon you'll be able to purchase it. Okay, so purchase it for yourself. Like you can wear it. It's a chameleon, right? You can also purchase it to give as a gift to your loved ones. 现在太多作了。对我确实作为一个上海人哈，上海女生的一个 reputation 就是很作，但是我觉得我其实不太作。就是我很作的一个点，就是我确实搞很多养生的东西。So there is a particular word in Chinese called 作 which basically used to describe girls who has lots of like requirements, like pretty demanding girls. Like when we call here in Chinese, we call demanding girls, we call it 作. Okay, so like Chinese girls, to be honest, has this reputation that we are pretty demanding. However, compared to other like Chinese girls, I consider myself not to be the type of girls who are very demanding. I'm only very demanding on one thing, which is taking care of my body, which is when it comes to health. So my husband it, complained a lot about like me, like he would say like, okay, you're a pretty 作. Is that like American Karens? Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like American Karens, like yeah. Yeah, just exactly like American Karens. Like, you know what? Something like that, yeah. But we don't talk like that, yeah. So like for example, I do have to, for example, okay, so my husband's like, okay, every day we eat dinner, just randomly eat something, right? As long as there are like one plate, one dish, then it's good, right? But I have to be very delicate. Okay, I'm pretty sure I have to be doing something like, okay, we need to have a very balanced meal. We already have vegetables, then we must have like protein. Oh, what's the color? We already have orange, which is carrots. We also have greens, but we don't have purple. Then we need to have some onions or blueberries in the dinner or something like that. Like I have lots of I'm pretty demanding when it comes to diet, and also comes to like herbal teas, and also for example wake up in the morning, I have to rub my stomach, something like that. Like I'm pretty demanding on all those kind of things. And for the rest of that, I'm not very demanding. So I'm pretty I consider myself to have a pretty good temper. Like yeah, so I also don't have those kind of what we call that 偶像包袱 right, 美女包袱. I don't have something like that. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I'm always very happy to just joke about myself. So that's why I also say, after quitting milk, I don't fart as much as before, something like that, and also show you the bye bye meat in here, right? Or the side boobs and the bye bye meat, right? Yeah, and here 没有偶像包袱. Yeah, yeah, the very real meat, the authentic meat, just showing you guys the very meat, right? Yeah, like it. You guys like that too, right? You just like to see a real person. Like nowadays, everyone is just trying to set up a personality on the internet that is too perfect. You just want to see someone who's not perfect, that's who's real, right? Who's just like you, right? Yeah. You is a English teacher or a student？既不是英文老师，也不是学生哈。对，既不是英文老师，也不是学生。Yeah. AI doesn't fart. Now we know you're human, right? Yeah, you're right. AI doesn't fart. I fart, so that's why I'm a human being. Yeah, you're so cool. Hey, Brian, you're still in here? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah. Yeah, you know what you need is great. Yeah, yeah, I think so. Like I feel like as when I grow older, I start to realize more about what are the things I need. From time to time would be I still would be lost. However, after a while, I would just go back to the core and realize what are the things that's most important in my life. And, I know what are the things I want and just try to focus on the things I want in my life. And I will be able to live a better life, right? I fart, therefore I am. You also fart, right? Yeah. Is it a fart very smelly? Louis the cat? Yeah. Yeah. My husband was like yesterday was saying, complaining that, oh my God, you are the person I know in this world that fart the most. You're the one that fart most I know. I said, for sure. That's for sure. Because you spend every day with me. Like if you tell me there's another person, you stay like as much as me, and there must be some problem between you guys, right? And so for sure then, and also the fact that I fart a lot in front of you because I really trust you and I'm pretty relaxing when staying with you. So I have no this burden, right? So they say like the moment when you realize you guys are very intimate is for a couple, right? When you first start dating, you would not just fart in front of this person. You have to be really restrained, even though I really want to fart. Say, oh no, I'm not gonna fart in front of him. I'm not gonna fart in front of her, right? What if he or she does not like me if I fart in front of him or her, right? After a while, so the sign when two like young couple become very intimate is the moment that you guys start to be able to fart freely in front of each other, right? Hello，奶龙将军，什么是奶龙将军啊？我来啦，什么是奶龙将军啊？你自己是奶龙将军吗？Yeah. So my husband complained about that, and I was like, "Yeah, that's okay, So that's a sign of we're intimate. That's why you see me fart a lot." And I mean, like for sure, like people wouldn't like the other people, would not fart in front of you. Like even though they really want to fart, they wouldn't fart in front of you, right? And I say something like that, and he's like, "No, you fart too much," you know. He's like, and also there's a saying in Chinese called "屁乃人生之气，其有不放之理." It's like fart is the magic gas out of your body. It is the magic gas of your body. Why you don't release it because it's magical or something like that, Yeah, 太多没有公主病没有个公主命得了公主病的花瓶。对，Yeah，我不是花瓶。Okay, guys, it's 9:30 a.m. So another beautiful 2 hours has passed by. So okay, it looks like I have completely changed Dan's mindset about me because he's saying like Nytrix, you're something else. Okay, so Dan, have you followed me? Okay, today we have successfully turned at the very beginning thought of an enemy to be a friend, to be potentially a follower. I hope you follow me. Okay, so Dan, so happy. I'm happy now we are now friends now, and I'm happy that you now realize that I'm not a propagandist. Okay, like you can tell now, right? And also for those of you who haven't followed me, definitely follow me, okay? So usually I would have my live stream from 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. China time, which is 2 hours from now to now, okay? Every day, okay? I usually would only take one day off. Usually it's Sunday, okay? But if I have some work to do or it's I don't feel like doing it, then I will tell people in advance in my followers chat group. So that's why for those of you who haven't followed me, who haven't joined my chat group, I have a chat group on Rednote, okay? Guys on Rednote, just join my chat group in here, okay? Follow me there. 挑战成功，统战成功啊，确实，那哥们儿现在一开始被我狂骂那哥们儿，现在还在直播间，然后现在说这个改变观点了。他说，你确实与众不同，你确实不一样啊，然后还关注我了，所以咱们挑战成功了哈，挑战成功了啊，OK。所以以后碰到这种那个不好的，我一般性都不会踢掉，还是让他欢迎他在里面。然后呢，就听我讲，讲着讲着呢，我们就把它给翻牌了。OK， yeah，OK，welcome Dan to family. Yes, welcome Dan to family. Yeah, OK. So, guys, again, so for those of you who haven't followed me, definitely follow me. Okay, I usually would have my live stream from 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. China time, which is 2 hours before now till now. Okay, so like lovely to see all of you, and I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my day, which is the last holiday of the May Labor's Day in China. And I also hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day as well. Okay, bye bye, my friend. Bye bye.